Or 20, I can't remember, but she was sent to me. It's fine. There he is. You could just hear him go.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
All right, just have them they'll need to pull the file and then we'll take it up. Thank you.
And I appreciate it.
Yes. All right, Renee Torres.
Yeah, I have to.
All right. So where are we on these cases?
Judge, this is a case that has a couple indicted cases, and then there's also an MTR, and there's a couple unindicted cases. Due to some of the workings,
Mhm.
the indicted and the non-indicted may not be proceeded on.
Okay,
So we're asking for a reset. I have sent off an email last week. I resent that email today, have not got a response, and so I'm gonna have to follow that up, I guess personally. I know that Mr. Bartolome has also personally spoke with McCluskey, and he has not gotten back to him also. So it's one of those cases that
all right, I'm gonna help people communicate better. Ms. Ferguson, bring this back for a jury trial in January 2nd week.
that'd be fine, Judge.
Well, Judge, it might not work out for me because I got a lot of cases to take that week. Can we go a little later in the month?
No, we'll see where we are. All right, January 9th is gonna be your jury trial date.
Okay.
All right, and we'll put, oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. All right, when you said Merry Christmas, was that from the heart? Are you saying it, Jason? Sometimes people say Merry Christmas, but it's like,
No, Judge, it wasn't one of those.
okay. All right, we'll set the MTR on January 9th as well.
Yes, Your
It's
Honor.
all about inflection, but I appreciate it.
Oh, just 1 second. Yes.
Quick question, Judge.
Yes.
Mr. Torres is supposed to actually expire on January 9th. Now, he's done everything on the probation, as far as his terms, his classes and everything that's concerned. He's paid off all his fees and so forth. However, he has 200 community service hours left to do. In the conditions, it did not state anything about if he completed his parenting classes, if those could be taken in consideration, but
Has he completed his parents?
yes, completed them.
All right,
And
I
the
normally
parenting
do that, so I would do that.
It was a supplement off of the original conditions. So would you give him the hours for the community service? I mean,
Yes.
For the classes?
Yes. All right, so, and the MTR will be set for January 9th as well.
Thanks.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Now that sounded like a good thank you, like it was from the heart.
Well, Merry Christmas was.
I don't know, I'm gonna ask my mom about that.
Judge, may I?
Yes.
I just want to, I hate to leave on so.
Okay.
I'm in training, but I'm right here, I can come back, I can text you.
All right, no
That's
problem.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, thank you. Enjoy training.
Oh.
Usually those are preceded by ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Okay,
Bye, Judge.
bye-bye. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah, you can let him go. All right, and give him the number of his attorney. Okay. Okay. Kent Yates. Hi. All right, Mr. Yates. Defense, my understanding is there's still an evaluation that's pending.
Yes, Your Honor, I thought Ms. Yates might be better today, and I approached him, placed a file, and was basically trying to get him to look at it. He's really not interested in looking at it, so I don't know whether he's competent or not. It sounded like, I can't really tell.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, do we have a setting for when his competency? Just 1 second.
It was filed in November, early November, it's been about a month ago for the re-examination.
Ah, okay.
In court, in the back on that day, spoke to him briefly, and I didn't think he was competent at that time, but I can't tell him at all. Right now.
All right, so what we'll do then is we'll put it for February 1st, and we'll see where
I
we're at.
don't know how long. The charges are pretty serious, so I don't know how to proceed without his input.
All right, we're gonna, Mr. Yates, do you have any questions? Okay. All right, so this is what's gonna end up happening. We'll have the competency done. If they determine that he is competent and if he still does not want to communicate with you, then you will be going to jury trial with a client who's not communicating with you. So that's the way we'll do it. All right, Ms. Ferguson on Yates, we're bringing him back on February 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Deputy Laura, Deputy Mahia, you can take Mr. Yates away. Isaias Guerra. Thank you. And this is a plea. And there's no application. Court is calling 2023 CR 8177. You're on this side. State of Texas versus Isaias Guerra. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
I represent Mr. Guerra, Eric DeWalt.
All right. And are you Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you pronounce your first name again?
Isaias.
Isaias. All right. I'm mispronounced it. I'm gonna blame it on the deputies for
Fine.
telling me.
Not the only one.
All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have it, yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Well, we are, Your Honor, but with it's a 1244 Commissioner Judge.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow the plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Guerra, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Awesome.
I need a yes or no. All right. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 20 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State is that the plea?
It is, yes, ma'am.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. I'm sorry, everyone, just one moment. All right. Counsel, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
State is that the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Your Honor, we've had an opportunity to go over that in its entirety. No objections to its advance.
All right, and state you continue to confirm.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Please, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we started off by my client, he'd missed his court date and you allowed me to approach. He's been very adamant about meeting all meetings with me and coming in front of you today. And we've discussed this case with the state and believe that the outcome is reasonable, and we hope you find the same.
All right. Then the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 20 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, give you credit for any time served. The court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I did say the judgment is satisfied. I'm assuming it is. Is that correct?
Yes, 23 actual days in, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right. So we're off the record. I read the police report. There are other things going on in the police report. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, you better do something to solve it, because otherwise the last time you use could be the last time you use. Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think you want anybody to have to identify somebody who's found on the side of the road or anything, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't want that to be you. So if you want to be in your children's life, you need to be in it clean and sober. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas. Your
Merry Christmas.
Honor. Over
All right. You too.
that. Was that face better than?
That was.
Interesting. Thank you.
You too. All right, Norma, the people we have left. We need Alberto Acevedo on Robles.
Everybody during my lunch already.
Okay. Okay.
They said they were coming and they were gonna be here.
All right. Everyone whose attorney's not here, you probably want to call your attorney, because we are breaking. We're not staying past 5 o'clock. If they're not here, you have to come back tomorrow.
I'm gonna send you a text message from Lorraine.
Okay. All right, let me see her client. No, I don't have those files. All right. All right, we'll need to have those files filed by tomorrow, because he's really not a fugitive. He's in federal custody. So,
Yes, and we work on the drug incidents.
all right, thank you. And Norma, we can put it on. She said he's set for trial on February 5th on the federal case.
Correct.
So let's put it at the end of February.
Yes, ma'am. The 29th.
Okay, we'll do the 29th then.
Setting, correct?
Yes.
I got your email. I was here this morning. You probably didn't see me. I don't know if conferring with my client. I guess I need to approach the judge, because he's asking me to ask for more time before he makes a decision.
David Barfield or Barfield.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Find the right side. Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, Mr. Barfield, today is your plea deadline date. Are you accepting the state's offer or no?
I was asking for
He's
more
asking
time.
for more time, Your Honor, before we make that decision. I mean, there's about 30 videos that we've needed to go through. I need some more time to go through those videos to.
All right, Norma, on this case, if you set it the fourth week in January, that will be your final plea deadline date.
Thank you, Judge.
I can do the 23rd.
All right, we'll come back on January 23rd.
Yes, Judge.
Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Have a seat and I'll get the form and.
Oh, he's ready. He's the way. We already put it in the drink, but we need to. He's supposed to fill it. Yeah. He's waiting to move the second chair. Yes, sir.
For Serta. That's I want to go to judge prior to my plea. Was that last week? The judge come to the door. I don't think he made the docket, but he showed up.
Yeah. Judge, can
Hmm?
you?
Sure.
On Thursday, we had Joe Serta, he has a DWI,
Mhm.
furthermore. He's the one that's going to SADF,
Mhm.
in Atascosa.
Mhm.
And so we're gonna enter into a plea today.
Okay.
And I don't think you're gonna wanna waive the PSI, so I'm just curious how. I guess the plan would be that you would just have SADF bring them here for sentencing?
No, SATF is, unless this is the case where you all were gonna check in,
We were trying to figure it out and nobody could give us a straight answer. The attorney who worked at Atascosa is still currently like right now working on that. Like trying to get somebody to give them an answer.
because I will tell you what the answer normally is if they have a case that's pending, they won't send them to SATA.
So-
So what is
He's a-
the agreement in this case?
It's a opposed offer. It's
Opposed?
Mhm.
All right. So if we set this for sentencing, they're not gonna send him to SATA and then bring him back.
Right.
But Sean, is that correct? Yeah, so-
And that's statewide. I mean, that's not county by county.
So, I mean, I'll do the plea today, but they're not gonna accept him, and they won't even accept him to SATA whether you all enter a plea or not. They still want to accept him because this case is pending.
So he has that turn-in date over there, but it's not gonna be, he's gonna end up doing it, probably try to turn in, they're gonna send him out.
No, what will end up happening is they're gonna take him into custody and he's gonna be sitting there and somebody from probation over there is gonna say, he's just sitting here because he has an open case.
So then somebody needs to work on it. We need to make sure that Atascosa revises their plan,
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll enter into the plea.
Okay.
here.
All right.
He has, I guess I answered my other question, because he has interlock on his vehicle, and we were gonna ask a motion to remove it if he went to SADF, but if we're pretty positive he's not gonna go to SADF, then.
Now, they may take him into custody there, but they're just gonna keep him waiting at the jail because he has this open case.
Then we'll have to revise that out there.
And then we'll have to end up having
A bench warrant, or
a Zoom sentencing if they do Zoom. If they don't do Zoom, we'll have to bench warrant him here for sentencing.
we'll handle that in Atascosa. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, for Adrian this week. Okay.
And he's.
Yeah. Yeah. Judge just wanted you to meet him, I put your phone number down. Yeah.
Thank you.
I sure did. Thank you. I didn't realize it. Thanks, man.
No. Grab. Okay. No. I would figure you would have this word. So. Roger, Drogo? Okay, copy that. We're almost over Mendoza.
Yeah, I mean, I just always remember. I had on. I don't remember you for anything else, man. I don't remember you for that. I'm worried about that. I had on. Good morning, man. I had on. I was gonna tell the salt. Yeah, that was what. Oh, I do. Good money, that's it.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
So where did Adrian go? Okay. Okay. All right.
Yes. No, I was just, I was letting her know, no, Angel was. She has. Mendoza is yeah, we talked about that one too. Yeah. Okay, we wrote it out. Yeah. I gotta take care of these guys real quick. Mendoza, some table. I think it's, I love the file. Yes. Okay, that one's up here, one of the few. Okay. So Ramon, I know you've been here all day, but if you don't mind taking by, we talked to him before you go. Deputy, can I get Mendoza towards the front?
Okay. Oh, sure. Oh, no, no, take your time. Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you. Oh, Bashan, on this case, I'm going to forward to you. He needs to be brought back. All right, I've sent it. Just one moment.
Said he was gonna talk to somebody right now.
What did you? Yeah, I'm starting. Here's my one. This one.
The end of the
All right, are the parties ready on Sean Mendoza?
We're ready, Judge. I have to find the prosecutor. Let me see where he is.
Looking for Zach?
Yes.
He's talking to some witnesses in the back.
I'll grab him, Judge.
And probation, there's no application.
Sean Mendoza, you said?
Yes, no application.
Maybe they changed their mind.
I'm not sure. Let me see. I'll see if they did. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9776, State of Texas versus Sean Mendoza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Yes, Your Honor. Zach Dunn for the state.
Defense?
Adrian Pettis?
And are you Sean Mendoza?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Mendoza, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did
Yes.
you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mendoza, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of violation of sex offender registration annually? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney? Thank you. To cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent.
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call? I'm sorry. There's some distraction going on in the courtroom. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or would that be called a reboot?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mendoza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision, and there's to be Chapter 62 compliance. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. Did you understand that was the state's recommendation and the court does not have to follow that recommendation? All right. Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1 and attachments.
No objections.
All right, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Right. I'm going to show you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Dinah, sorry for speaking so fast on that last. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mendoza, what brings you to San Antonio? Because it appears that you're supposed to be in Houston. So why are you in San Antonio?
Same thing. I was trying to find out, if I may, Your Honor.
If you what?
If I may. speak.
Sure.
I was doing my probation in Houston.
Mhm.
I was denied my house and out here. And the probation department that denied my housing, then Houston called me and said I had 7 days to go back to Houston. And I was there in 6 days and I've been reporting ever since. And a person called from out here saying I better get back down here or they're gonna issue a warrant on this, or I've been in the jail.
All right, so I'm reviewing, what I read in the police report is completely different. What I read in the police report, it says that you were supposed to be in Houston. And then you were somehow in San Antonio, you became homeless in San Antonio. Then Houston said you called them and they scheduled an appointment for you in February to come see them. And then you called them back and said, I'm stuck in San Antonio.
Oh, man.
So why are you here?
I was trying to get my house and out here for my probation because it was successfully transferred from Houston to here when I got out of jail.
All right, do you have family here?
No, man. My husband,
All right, so is he here?
we live in Kerrville now.
All right, because I'm trying to figure out where are you going to be living?
I got that address in Kerrville where I'm gonna be living, residing.
All right, so Vashawn, help me out because I'm still, even though I've been in San Antonio a long time. Kerrville are you all able to supervise Kerrville or no?
Judge, we are able to supervise Kerrville. Wait, give me 1 second.
Sure.
So. We are able to supervise in Kerrville. It is per county, I believe.
Mhm.
We will not be able to do like field visits, but we can supervise.
All right, so is that Kerr County?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's where you're going to be residing?
Yes, ma'am. I have the address.
Okay, all right, make sure you get that address of probation. Here's the thing. You're registered, so that means you have to register. If you don't register, you know what's going to end up happening? A warrant's going to be issued for your arrest and you're going to end up at the Bexar County Jail or either at somebody's prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance. Would that be considered a transfer to Kerrville?
No, Judge.
All right. There's to be regular reporting to probation. You're going to be on the sex offender unit. for reporting? Well, they will supervise your probation. Proof of employment.
On disability, SSI.
All right, well, you're gonna do proof of employment or either proof of disability. And what are you disabled from?
Mentally and PTSD.
All right,
I'm also epileptic.
all right. So he's gonna provide proof of employment or disability within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And that's only if you don't provide proof. So if you don't provide proof of your disability, you're gonna have to get employment. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if he's available to do the mental health. We'll set you up with Center for Healthcare Services. And there'll be regular random UAs. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Your Honor, is it okay that I just list, yes, for instance, someone in Fairfield?
Yes. And I'll put on here, defendant, you should reside in Kerrville. So what that means is, before you leave, if you're deciding my marriage is not working, things are not going well, you need to get permission. You can't just leave. Now, if it comes to a situation where you're being kicked out or something else is going on, let probation know, hey, I'm being kicked out. I need to leave now. It's an emergency, and we'll address that issue. But you just can't do whatever you want to do and go wherever you want to go. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Just apply and I'll be successful.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck.
Happy holidays.
Oh, you too. Could I see prosecutor on Joe Serta? Okay. Joe Serta, if you come forward. No, no. problem. All right. All right, before we go on the record, Mr. Serta, your attorney is telling me that your probation in another county, their idea is to send you to Saturday.
Correct.
Right. So what I know, unless the rules have changed, they have made the decision that if you have an open or pending case, they won't transfer you to any facility for treatment. It doesn't matter what type of treatment it is. It could be safety. They would say no because you have an open pending case. All right. So because this case is going to be open, they're probably not going to transfer you, but they may end up taking you into custody. And if they take you into custody, what will end up happening is you will just sit at that jail until this case is taken care of. So if that ends up happening, we'll see if Atascosa County will have you do our sentencing here by Zoom or not. Okay.
And Your Honor, just for clarification, we have an attorney working to try to reschedule that turn-in date based on our PSI here.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming this PSI, what I'll need is the criminal history. Otherwise, what date would it be, Norma?
Week starts, so it's looking at by February 15th.
All right. So we could probably have it sooner in January. But what I probably mid-January, but I'd be asking for the state to provide the court with criminal history. And then I could see how long it would take probation just to do a TAP evaluation. Because is that not the crux of this situation?
I think so.
I think so, Judge, yeah.
All right. So probation, if we were just doing a TAP evaluation only out of custody, how long would it take?
Yeah, to the end of January, Judge,
Okay.
early February.
All right, so we can put it in January. If we were doing a PSI and TAP, it would be longer. All right, so we'll just do, what I'm gonna want is the TAP evaluation then and the criminal history. And I'll be able to do it off that if everybody's okay with me doing it that way.
I'm okay. Yes, Judge.
All right, we're gonna go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 9473, State of Texas versus Joe Edward Serta. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Brandon Lopez for Mr. Serta.
Are you Mr. Serta?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor, and yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Serta, showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Serta, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? In all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Good. No.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
That's okay. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Judge.
Do you believe he is currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is and he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Serta, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine and the state opposes your application. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. State is requesting that if the court were to grant your application, that there be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, 2-year driver license suspension, VIP panel, DWI intervention, 10 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition, regular UAs and sober support meetings. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I have for State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection.
All right, Mr. Serta, is going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, if you all can't whisper, then you can't talk. We're on the record. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Ms. Ferguson, when can we bring this back towards the end of January?
You want to do the first, February 1st? Or we can do the 25th.
Let's do the 25th. All right, you're gonna come back on the 25th. On the 25th, since there were no objections, I'm gonna make a decision on your application based upon any other evidence that's presented to me, and also based upon the TAP evaluation in the criminal history, which will be the evidence that's part of the evidence that's presented. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else from either side?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Angel Montoya. Hello.
Hello,
What is happening with Montoya?
well, Zach's on the case.
Okay.
I brought in an eyewitness, he interviewed him. They still think they might have a shot at the trial, so he's gonna announce, he thinks it'll take a day. That includes picking the jury. He has a witness, I have a witness maybe, or for sure. The only thing I do ask you, about the one day, and all that, is that it not be any sooner than the last week of January, the first week of February. Our lease is up January 14th, and I may be moving my office again.
Oh, where are you moving to?
We don't know, because the building is offered us, and we've had some other people coming in, and the people that were coming in, they had a death in the family, so they're gone. And we're running out of time, and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
gotten to be quite a mess, but anyway,
But the gang is staying together.
no,
Oh,
maybe Joanne and Orlando Velasquez and me.
Mhm.
But Mario is actually gonna start working out of his house.
oh, yeah.
And Steven moved over to Donatos, took that rock to the head.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, they appear to make all of downtown to be hotels or condos or apartments.
Well, that's what happened to us as soon as we signed the lease 4 months in, and they said, oh, we sold it, now it's gonna be a hotel, so they moved us 3 times in less than 5.
How many hotels do we really need?
Well, about 10 less than we have.
How many apartments and condos downtown do we need?
Apparently just one more, Your Honor.
Just one more.
They'll keep saying that.
Just one more, just one more. All right, so,
I just need that space.
okay. Hank,
Yes, ma'am.
on this case, how long do you expect the jury trial to last? Oh, no, it's your case.
Yes, Your Honor. It's,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had said you had talked to
Hank
him.
is ever keepable, Your Honor. but
Yeah.
it might-
All right, Zach. Zach, how long do you expect the trial will last?
Your Honor, Ed and I talked, we don't think it would last longer than 1 day.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, this is a 1-day trial.
February 13th.
All right, February 13th will be your jury trial date. Is that good for you? Mr. Pike?
Check. I wasn't here this morning because I was in a status conference in Bernie, getting new dates for a trial over there, so,
It wasn't misdemeanor court, was it?
no, it wasn't. Even if it was.
I'm just joking.
I would have amnesia. Okay, what did we say again?
February 13th.
13. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so your jury trial will be February 13th. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. And I need an acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't be
absolutely.
late next time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Judge, may we approach on Desiree Cook?
All right, could I see the file on Desiree Cook? All right, Desiree Cook. All right, where are we on discovery?
Judge, as far as I know, the state has provided all the discovery required.
All right, so has an offer been tendered?
Judge, that's the thing. Right now, we're working through that offer.
Well, have you tendered an offer or no?
Well, I want to, so I spoke to the complaining witness while we were in docket, Judge, so I'm kind of working on that. Me and Mr. White have been talking about that a little bit, and we think there's going to be something that we can both live with, Judge.
Okay,
We're just getting short research on it.
all right, so Ms. Ferguson, we can either bring this back the second week in January or the first week in January.
January 9th.
January 9th?
Yes, Judge, that works fine. And Judge, respectfully, I think the state is not opposed to it. Ms. Cook has been on a monitor essentially since she got arrested or released from jail. She's been a model defendant on that particular monitor before the thank here. And respectfully, we asked the court to remove that condition of monitor.
Yes, Judge, we don't have any objection to that. I looked on the File 360 system and I didn't see any violation reports on there. We don't have any objection to.
All right, so why was she put on GPS?
I think just because of the nature of the charges, Judge.
All right, so we'll have to have a hearing. So if you all want to set it for a hearing or have Judge Nahara hear it, he can hear it. But otherwise, I need a hearing.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Okay,
January the what? No, I'm sorry.
9th.
9th. Right. Let's go outside. It is what it is. All right.
Mr. Marshall.
Yes, for
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And then, Mr. White, if you all want to see if the complainant has any objection to her being off the monitor, that would
Well,
probably help things move quicker.
Back with you or with Judge,
Oh, Judge Nahara could probably hear it tomorrow.
okay. Well, she was saying something about getting the victim's position on her, that GPS.
Oh, okay, I can call her.
Okay. Hello,
Judge, can I briefly?
sure.
I'm sorry, it's off docket, Judge, but good morning, or good afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those days. I just have a travel request for a DWI third.
oh, you need to have them pull the file.
Let me go do that, Judge.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Everybody have a nice Christmas.
Thank you, you
Nice
too.
Christmas, yes.
All right, have a good one.
Wait a second.
Hello, yes, sure.
It's an IMAG. So
Ah.
unindicted, they're waiting on a toxicology report. I think.
All right, if you'll confer with the state to
Yes, ma'am.
see if they have any objections.
Yes. Get it done.
Oh, you're on.
Yes,
May I approach, sure.
sure.
Yeah, I don't wanna. I'm not trying to violate the rules of the court. So Hank has no objection, Your Honor, and it's
Okay.
a family holiday. It's written in the motion that he will take a UA upon return. 5 years.
All right, so what needs to be added in here is that he will not be driving
Yes,
any
ma'am.
vehicle that does not have an ignition interlock on it. So that needs to be,
I can add that in there.
sure.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thanks for reminding me, Your Honor.
No problem. Hi.
Just to let you know, we worked out time, I think Mr. Acevedos.
Okay.
There's a couple new cases in the and I, she said I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay.
Thanks,
All
Bill.
right,
I
sure.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
I've added on the bottom right.
Yeah. No problem.
You got a good team in here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, but we're not going to spread that because once you start saying that, they start moving people.
So. I told him. I saw him running from the courtroom for the truth of whatever he's done.
Yeah. So what are your plans for the holidays? Are you going to be in town?
I don't think family.
My best friend's not just really, they're so sweet. It's the one where they're they do breakfast and they do it dinner.
Well, they're not doing potato salad with raisins, are they?
They do some stuff in the morning with eggs.
Yes.
Nobody eats it but the grandma. I'm gonna hang out with them and then I'll see my girlfriend's family in the morning. So.
Okay, awesome.
Let's focus on the blessing, right?
Oh, I am so for that.
It's radiant.
I love flowers. You know, my mom always tells me that other than at your home, the most you spend your time is at work. So it should be some beauty to it. And because we deal with different cases all the time. Mhm. Oh, I will be seeing family. So actually, Louisiana. So actually in this court, our last day is going to be the 19th.
Yes. Thank goodness I got in here.
Yes, and the reason why is because a lot of the people who work in here, some of them are single parents. And they gotta make sure that their little ones know Santa Claus is real, you know, and it takes a while to be Santa Claus. And then everybody has family things they have to do. And the last thing I think you want is Christmas Eve, you're out trying to buy something or fix something. So this will give them, oh gosh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So this will give them a chance to do that. And then we'll be back on January 3rd.
You're the only one, I mean, as far as district court goes, I don't know of any other judges. You're getting it done.
We try.
It's like a work hard, play hard kind of thing.
Oh, there you are.
And, you know, put family first, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I really don't think it's the worst.
Oh, it's still,
Crazy.
oh, it is. So I'm hoping maybe
No,
March.
it paradoxed me because it's so.
Yeah, it's be helpful, right?
Yeah,
Set it out there.
because they said 3 months.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
one of the hardest working coordinators there too. Joe.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hey, do not forget about Diana.
You, yeah, man.
I won't forget.
I told him, don't forget about the hard work you do.
Like when Hank wasn't so corrupt.
Yeah.
I really wish you a wonderful, terrific holiday. You've been great.
All right, have a good one. You too. Yeah. Oh, just one second. Let me talk to you for a moment.
Here you go, Norman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, see you there. See you next time. Okay, Hank, we'll just, yes, we get that. Have a good day. Thanks a lot.
Now, this guy has a bit of a speech impediment.
Okay.
But he completely understands. Just.
Yeah.
I gave you. When you review that with him, I'll get this. Just review it all, and I'll get that discovered. It's all really big. You're right. Get that to another one, in good shape.
Okay. All right.
That he was open, but just, or at the same time that I didn't have given this like hybrid approach to the.
I think you can get them to plead to 404, but we can reset.
Oh, you're so welcome. All right. See you then. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.
He's either gonna cut the 404 that we've agreed to. The check to give him on September. Which you objected to our.
It was Lauren Glasscock, and Laura Metzel.
Yeah. Let me run up.
Because I forget who is the other person, our intake person.
But I'll bring it, I'll ask.
Laura Metzel, Judge?
And who else? Is it just her?
I think it's just Laura Metzel, and then all the other things are separated out by like type of offense. So like,
Well, isn't it, what's her name? Victoria or
oh,
Fernandez?
you're right, Judge. On the family violence side, it's Victoria Fernandez. That's right.
All right.
Oh, gotcha.
Happy holidays to you too. All right, let me know when you all are ready. Who do we have left?
Roger Idrogo, Your Honor, will be a plea, and they're going over right now, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I'm working on the paperwork, Judge.
Okay.
You're gonna let the record reflect that the family violence finished the paperwork before CTV.
Y'all know that Zach is a big Miami guy? Oh. Loves Miami, lives for New Year's Eve, that kind of guy. Oh my.
Where did you guys find
Juvenile.
He's
That's actually true.
belongs in juvenile.
That's right.
Oh, no, I mean juvie.
Oh, no.
No, 'cause he's a kid.
Not as a prosecutor.
2023 CR 9779, State of Texas versus Roger Edrago. Can our parties approach and announce for the record for the state
Zach done for the state, Your Honor.
defense?
Adrian Bettis.
And are you Mr. Edrago? My understanding is he's had a stroke. If he needs a chair, we can give him a chair.
That'd be wonderful, Judge. And
Oh, if y'all can move to that end.
that's sit down if you want.
All right. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Zach done for the state.
Adrian Bettis for the defendant.
And are you Roger Edrago?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I know that you were recently appointed, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Today, I'll waive my 10 days.
All right. And Mr. Edrago, had you had enough time to speak with this attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And the court will note for the record that the previous attorney stated that she would not be able to make it. And that if there was another attorney who was willing to take the appointment, she was fine with them taking the appointment. Right. Mr. Edrago, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review what's entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor. Save for the enhancement language, Your Honor. The state will waive and abandon that language.
No objections.
All right. The indictment. It's not here. I'm sorry, Adriana. Yes, the indictment is missing. Oh, no problem. All right. Mr. Edrago, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of violation of sex offender registration annually? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you. Thank you. And you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Edrago, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision, and there's to be Chapter 62 compliance. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one and attachments. No objections.
Oh, you may continue to confirm.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Drago, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, and judgments? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Drago, do you have a place to live?
Yes, ma'am.
Who lives in that household?
No,
All right, any children live in that household?
no,
All right. How many adults are in the household?
about 4.
All right. And my understanding that you've had a stroke or something?
Yes.
When did that happen? If you remember.
No,
Are you under the doctor's care?
yeah.
All right.
Your Honor, his sister is here who can answer those questions if you'd like.
Yes, let's bring her up. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Dorothy Garcia. I'm his sister.
All right, and how do you spell your last name?
Garcia.
All right. So, are you living where he's living or no?
No, he lives by himself.
And how many adults are in that home?
In his house, it's just him.
All right, so why is he telling me there are adults other than
He
himself?
probably didn't understand because he forgets things.
Right. So is he receiving SSI or something?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And what is the SSI for?
For his disability.
And what is the disability?
He had a heart attack and then he's got his stroke.
All right. So do you take him to his doctor's appointments?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the one that takes him to the doctor's appointments and all his appointments that he has.
All right. And his home, is it near a school or anything of that nature?
No, ma'am.
And is he the only person who lives there?
Yes, he's the only one that lives there.
All right. Any questions?
No questions.
All right, State, do you have any questions of her?
No, Your Honor, no questions for this.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court will do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance, regular reporting. You to provide probation with your address today. There's to be proof of employment or SSI within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. There's to be a TAP evaluation that can be done out of custody. And there's to be random regular UAs. And you're going to be monitored by the sex offender unit. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record from here on out. Everything you do, you need to make sure you report. If you don't report, there's going to be a problem. If you say you're living somewhere and you're not actually living there, that's going to be a problem. You understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Are we ready on Mr. Robles?
Tell us where the deputy judge. If I don't see you,
All right, what are we doing on Mr. Robles?
It's, we have an agreement, Judge.
Okay, and is there a plea as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll take up the plea first and then we'll do the motion to revoke. And excuse me, can I have the file stamp for a plea, please? Oh, no problem. Thank you. And I'm assuming we're only pleading on the 8262?
Yes, ma'am. That's the new one.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 8262, State of Texas versus Christopher Robles. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state.
Defense?
Attorney Alvarez, fellow.
All right, and probation, there's no application. And you're Christopher Robles? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Robles, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Robles, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter to a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Sure.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Robles, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, and I should have notated on there, if this is to be concurrent with cause number 2020 CR 12348, which is the MTR that we're going to take up later today, Judge.
All right, is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, then does everybody understand that to be the plea bargain agreement? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I just, there's one other thing I forgot, Judge, I'm sorry.
Yes.
The state had agreed to TIC, the evading arrest that, I know that the dismissals are filled out, but.
All right, what's the cause number?
Yes, ma'am. So that's gonna, the evading with the vehicle is 2023 CR 9253. And then we're gonna TIC a racing on the highway, which is County Court 716-731. And ABI, which is cause number CC 716-730.
All right. So is that everybody's understanding of the agreement state?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's okay. Defense. Mr. Robles, do you understand that to be the agreement?
Yes.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
You're gonna have to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and involuntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. And before we go any further, there appears to be a correction in the plea paperwork with regards to the indictment. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, one of the numbers in the cause number for one of the judgments got transposed, so I corrected that. I didn't draw your attention to that. I'm sorry. So
Oh, no problem. So with regards to the indictment, is there a request with regards to the indictment?
yes, ma'am. I'd like to orally amend the indictment. It should be in
The cause number for Wilson County?
yes, ma'am. And what is
The cause number is in the indictment is 10-07-0629 CR. And are you asking to change the cause number to reflect the judgment, which is 10-07-0269 CRC?
yes, ma'am.
Any objection?
No objection, sure.
Do you have any objections to that, Mr. Robles? All right, well, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, just I have his mother here that wants to testify. I'd just
Okay.
like to call his mother, Sylvia Robles, please.
All right, Ms. Robles, if you'll come forward. Hello.
Hello, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being patient with waiting today.
Took a while. Thank you for listening. I just wanted you to know.
Let me have you raise your right hand for me, okay? Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Sylvia Robles.
All right, and there's something you wanted to say?
Yes, I just wanted you, court and your honor, to know that I really believe that Christopher's behavior had to do a lot with unfortunate circumstances that happened in his life.
Mhm.
The first was the death of his girlfriend, pregnant at the time, 6 months. She died in a car wreck. And I think that begun his unfortunate things that happened in his life. That was in April. in May, our home literally burned down. And him being a heavy machine operator helped demolish the whole house and that. So I think all of that didn't help his way, or was irrationally thinking of everything that happened to him. It didn't help. You know, no, I appreciate it. You know something about him. He does have a child with his ex that's 10 years old now, which of course he wants to continue to be in his life. He's in very good terms with his ex and his son.
All right, thank you so much for letting me know and giving me some insight.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, just,
Mhm.
she did mention that, he does have an ex-wife, Stephanie Bookout, who they have a 10-year-old. She wrote a letter to the court. I don't know if you would be so kind to read that letter.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
They share a 10-year-old in custody.
Oh, her name is Stephanie as well.
Yes.
And she spells it correctly. Only Stephanies with the PH understand what I'm saying. Thank you.
Judge. And just some other words on behalf of Mr. Robles, Your Honor. His girlfriend, who was 6 months pregnant at the time, passed away April 8th. The offense date of the DWI 3rd was May 3rd, 2023. Subsequently, obviously, his mother had testified regarding the loss of the house, it being burned down. That was right after that. And then he picked up these new charges. My client's obviously here taking responsibility for his actions, no excuses. I understand in talking to him that it was a difficult time. But in addition to that, obviously, he put the community in danger by his actions, and he knows that. I believe Mr. Robles has a few words to say to the court.
All right, do you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Christopher Robles.
All right, what would you like to say?
I just first want to apologize to the court and to you, Your Honor, for messing up on the original probation. That definitely was not my intentions by all means. I wanted to finish that and get on with my life. Just this year has just been pretty much hard on me, and I fell into a hole, and I kept on digging pretty much. I was trying to get out of and trying to continue. Pretty much fell into a depression that I still somewhat am taking day after day, but I know that I should have been a stronger man, father, son, everything that I should be, and take this as a learning lesson as much as I can day by day. And I want to grow stronger from this. That moment or through this year was definitely not my intentions of going this route at all.
All right, anything else?
There's a couple questions, Judge.
Oh, sure.
Mr. Robles, my name is Hank Wilkins. I'm one of the prosecutors here. So if I ask you something you don't understand, just let me know and I can ask it a different way.
Yes, sir.
So do you remember when you were sentenced on the initial evading with the vehicle in April of 2022?
Yes.
And that was for deferred, right? That wasn't straight probation, that was for deferred?
Yes, sir.
And did your attorney at the time explain to you that that's, you traded something for that, right? If it's straight probation, it might be for a shorter period of time, but it's a conviction. If it's a deferred, it's for the whole, you're open to the whole range, right? Do you remember that?
Yes, sir. As best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And then a little more than a year later is when you got that DWI 3rd, right? That was May of this year?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then more recently, in September of this year, you got arrested again, right? That was for the evading with the vehicle. And a couple other charges that we're going to dismiss too, right? Yes, sir. Okay. So kind of a few different incidents there, right? Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
Yes, sir. Or ma'am, sir.
Okay. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No follow-up, Judge.
All right, any other witnesses?
No other witness, Your Honor. Just,
And-
for the record purposes, his father is also here in the back supporting him.
All right, thank you. All right, and probation. I know I haven't called the probation case yet, but what was the probation's recommendation on the probation case?
Judge, on the probation case, the recommendation listed was for status.
All right. So here's where I am. And you know, whenever we were at judges school, they always tell us, say as little as possible on the record, because then nobody will have an idea. But I like to communicate with people because I think if you understand where I'm coming from, because I want you to know that I listened to what your mom said. But I also know there's some major issues with you, right? Anytime somebody's on probation in this court, deferred adjudication, I always ask them if there's anything else they need help with. If there are any other problems, I always tell them if there's a problem with probation, they feel they are not addressing it, they can always come to me. So that's part of your problem with me following the recommendation for probation for SATA, right? My other problem is that I read the police report, and in the police report, screwdriver in the vehicle, right?
Yes, just
And the screwdriver is being used to turn on the vehicle. No. So that's a problem there. And then the other problem I have is the racing. And that's an issue. And then we have another evading arrest. So looking at that all in totality, because sometimes when I get new information, I always keep an open mind. And when I get new information, maybe there's something else I do. But in your case, the reason why I'm not going to say, you know what, you need inpatient treatment, we're going to give you inpatient treatment, we're going to go with that, is because you have this evading, the state is taking the evading in consideration. You have racing, they're taking that into consideration. Then you're on deferred for evading arrest, and now we have a DWI. So that's why on the driving while intoxicated, third or more, I'm going to follow the plea bargaining agreement. I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a 2-year driver's license suspension. This will run concurrent with 2022 CR 12348. Take in consideration 2023 CR 9253. County Court cause number 716731, 716730. If you would like, I could recommend for you the therapeutic community. Now, I can't force them to place you in the therapeutic community. If I could, I would. So what ends up happening is I can recommend it and request it, but you'll have to ask for it as well. If you don't ask for it, they're not going to give it to you. If you ask for it, maybe they'll give it to you, maybe they won't, but they'll see that the district court judge is recommending it. So maybe they'll do that. It doesn't increase the length of time that you've been at the prison. So for example, let's say they want to parole you at 3 years. They're not going to say, we would parole you, but we're not because you haven't completed the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community is just something to help you, hopefully, with your sobriety and if there's any other mental health issue or trauma going on. You understand? All right. So would you like that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else in that case with regards to sentencing? All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because that's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because it's a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
Next, we're going to move on to the motion to revoke. We're going to go on the record in 2020 CR 12348. Going to show you what's entitled state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Christopher Tomas Robles, who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 12348 for the offense of evading arrest, detention with a vehicle on April 4, 2022 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 3rd day of May 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Christopher Tomas Robles, committed the offense of driving while intoxicated in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State.
Yes, ma'am. On the, this is on the state's motion to supplement. Judge, violated condition number 1, on or about the 8th day of September 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Christopher Tomas Robles, committed the offense of evading arrest or detention in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 8th day of September 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Christopher Tomas Robles, committed the offense of assault in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And Your Honor, we waive the other violations alleged in both of the motions, Judge.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, Your Honor, excuse me, no objections.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violations 1, 1, and 1? The court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of conditions 1, 1, and 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of conditions 1, 1, and 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you grant the motion, revoke the defendant's probation. We're asking for 5 years to run concurrent with the driving while intoxicated, the 2023 CR 8262. And we're going to take into consideration the same cause numbers as in the other case, Judge.
All right, is that the agreement?
That's my understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Robles, are you asking me to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what the court will do is the court will find violations 1, 1, and 1 true. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 5 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 8262. The court will recommend the therapeutic community. Court will give you credit for any time served. All right, is there anything else with regards to that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you go to prison, there are going to be some people who are focused on their sobriety and some people who are not. You can actually make alcohol at the jail. You can make alcohol at the prison. I'm sure you probably already know that. Do not get caught up in that, because if you get caught up in that, what's going to end up happening is when you get out of prison, you're going to be right back where you were. And time when your feet hit the ground from prison, you need to go into some type of inpatient treatment. And if you were to do lifetime recovery or any of the other treatment facilities, they will address any trauma issues that you will have. You understand? All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, happy holidays to you too.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a good excuse.
Yes.
Have a good day, Judge.
All right. Thank you both for coming in. All right. Is that our last case? Oh, we will be back tomorrow.